We are just moments away from Game 4 of one of the most competitive series thus far in the first round of the 2019 NBA playoffs. The Brooklyn Nets are hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. The Brooklyn Nets are looking to rebound after a very disappointing overall game from them in Game 3. They had went into Philadelphia and won Game 1. They got their one. They took home court. Now they come back to Brooklyn with a chance to go up 2-1 on their home court. And I'm not going to lie to you. Ben Simmons had the game of his life. Now, moments before the game, Joel Embiid was ruled out by the Philadelphia 76ers staff due to soreness in his knee. And with Ben Simmons already receiving criticism from Brooklyn Nets own Jared Dudley, saying he's an average player at best when he's not in transition. The fans were saying Ben Simmons is missing in action. You need to hit up Kendall Jenner, the reported girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or whatever, Ben Simmons, saying his jumper ain't been found since he started his career. Ben Simmons went out and answered all the critics with an impressive, probably the best game of his career, 31 point, 9 assist outing to destroy the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, he was phenomenal. Getting to the rim, only missing 2 shots, great passes, finding his teammates in the right spots. I'm not going to lie to you. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw the Philadelphia 76ers play that good as a team. The offense just looked so fluid with Embiid not on the court. They look better with guys like Greg Monroe or Boban playing big. They were faster. The spacing was better. And it has opened up a great conversation. I know this category is usually would you make this trade, but we're going to switch it for this video and this video only. I got to ask you guys a great old NBA debate question as we get ready for Game 4 between Brooklyn and Philadelphia. Who would you trade? Now, let's just say Philadelphia somehow, some way gets through Brooklyn as expected and moves on to the next round of the playoffs, as they are expected to take on the Toronto Raptors, who are up 3-0 on the Magic. I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but let's just go ahead and put that in the atmosphere. Let's just say the Toronto Raptors, let's say they beat let's give the Philadelphia 76ers some respect. Let's say they beat Philly in 6 games. Philly goes out, competes. Joel Embiid is available for most of the games, 4 or 5 of the 6 games. Let's just say Philly wins 2 games but loses to the Raptors in 6. As expected, at that point, the 76ers head coach Brett Brown will likely be fired. And questions will loom over this franchise. What do you do next? They went out and paid for guys like Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. They traded a lot of their nucleus. Speaking of Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, 2 guys that they brought in this season, they're both free agents to be in like 2 months. So you got to make some big time decisions in regards to money, because you throw out this money to Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, you're talking max dollar for both of these guys. They can command that in free agency. At that point, Philly will have one of, if not the biggest payrolls in the NBA for a team that could very well be eliminated in the second round of the playoffs. Your payroll can't be more than Golden State's, and they're winning championships, and you're not getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Something is wrong with that picture. So I ask you guys, if you're Philly, you got Ben Simmons, who to me is not the talent of a Joel Embiid, but more reliable. He's more available. Joel Embiid suffers from a lot of injuries. I've told y'all countless times, I'll say this once again for my new viewers out there, I'm not 100% sure if Joel Embiid will make it to the age of 30 in the NBA. I've seen guys like Yao Ming, Andrew Bynum as of late. Big guys' bodies just break down on them, and there are a plethora more examples out there. And neither one of those guys was as agile or athletic as a Joel Embiid, had the moves that Embiid possesses. I'm not 100% sure Embiid's body will make it to 30, but when he does hit that court, he is absolutely dominant. This dude could control the game offensively. He could control the game defensively if he wants to. Literally, he's that good. Post moves for days, the dream shake, the ability to get to the rim from the perimeter. Heck, while he's on the perimeter, he can take and make that 3-pointer. Sometimes it's definitely better than his other guy, Ben Simmons, who can't make that jumper at all. But Ben Simmons has a great act to get to the rim when he wants. And speaking of when he wants, when Ben Simmons is engaged in a basketball game, like we've seen in Game 3, the dude can get buckets even without a jumper. He's yet to make a three-pointer in his career, 0 for 18 all time in his very young career. But the brother still has been able to make himself very valuable. 17 points a game, 9 and 8 from a guy that can't make a jumper. In the couple years he's been in the league, after missing a season, he's still good. And that brings the question to you. Who do you keep? Who do you trade? If you're Philadelphia and you know you need to make some type of change, do you go out and get shooting and trade Joel Embiid and make that team make more sense? Maybe you go out and trade for a big that can shoot without the injuries. Maybe you go trade Ben Simmons and get a point guard who's nowhere near the talent that a Ben Simmons is, but he can shoot that three ball and run the offense. What do you do? Who do you trade? I'll tell you what I do. And this is a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. I trade Ben Simmons. I know Embiid is not healthy. I get it. Trust me, I get it. He's never going to be 100%. That dude is going to play probably 60 games one season, 55 one season. I get it. But when he's out there, he's one of the most dominant big men I've ever seen. I'll take 55, 60 games of that, because when he's on the court, I know he's 100% engaged. I know he wanted more than his matchup no matter who he's playing. Now, I would like for Embiid to clean up his diet. I'd hope in the next year or two somebody gets around him and says, yo, you got to put the Skittles down. You got to lose a little bit of that weight. Reportedly, Joel Embiid is about 10 to 15 pounds overweight. And hopefully he cleans his diet up, and hopefully that helps his knees out a lot. He's overweight right now. I don't know what I'm getting night in and night out from Ben Simmons. Yes, he could go out and give me 15 assists, but he could also go 2 for 6 from the field, 7 assists, but not really impact the game the way I need him to. I know Embiid can go out and get 30. Ben has done it before, but not consistently. I'm rolling with the big. And I know that doesn't sound the greatest today. As I make this video, Joel Embiid is doubtful for Game 4. But I'm rolling with the big, with that instinct in him, that competitive nature in him. And again, whatever trade I make for Ben Simmons, understand it needs to be for the next 2 or 3 years. I'm not going out and getting another prospect. I'm getting somebody that I could bring in that's ready to compete for championships right now, that allows me to keep my nucleus together, maybe re-sign Jimmy and Tobias, and go for rings. I can't have both of them on the court, because Simmons wants the ball in the post, and that's where Embiid's supposed to be. And when Simmons gets on the post, Embiid thinks he needs to be on that three-point line, and I really want Embiid in the post, and I want Simmons to knock down the jumper from the perimeter. It's all messed up right now when they play together. It seems like they do better when each other doesn't play. Simmons rarely misses games though, and Embiid misses a lot of games, and I want Embiid over Simmons. I think I'm making the right move, but I would love for you to tell me, who would you trade if you had to this summer? If Philadelphia gets eliminated next round, and Philly obviously admits that they need to make some type of changes to get where they need to be, who would go? Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons? Talk to me in the comment box below. Great NBA debate. It's always happening on my platform. That's why I need you to be here all the time. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Mr.Taliaferro.
Mr.Taliaferro. Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.